YouTube, what's going on? Trying to see if my live feed work here. I don't know what's going on with it. Yeah, what's going on? I'll wait for some people to come in. I'm trying to see if this live feed working. I did a whole 30 something minute video earlier and it didn't upload. I'm so mad. You doing your audit? Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Trying to wait for a couple people to come in here. But what's going on? Did you find the vibration in your truck? No, I haven't found it yet. I don't know what's going on. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's a bad kingpin, a bad U-joint, bearing, wheel bearing, who knows? Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. It's something in the steering wheel it's not a tire. It's not a tire issue. It's something in the steering wheel. Or maybe it almost feel like you got your hands on the motor. You just feel this constant. Sometimes it goes away. Sometimes it'll go away, then it'll come back. It'll go away and it'll come back. You know? Like I noticed it's real rough. The steering wheel is real rough when the truck is cold. Like right when I first jump on the road, I say after about 20, 30 minutes, it'll smooth out just a little bit, but it's still rough. I don't know what it is. It's just a crazy, it's something going on. So what you tried so far? I'm thinking maybe the wheel bearing need to be tightened up. Maybe the wheel bearing is loose. I don't think it's the drive shaft. The carrier bearing on the drive shaft. I don't think it's that. Damn, brand new wheel bearing. Damn. I did hear the steering gearbox on some of these Freightliners could create a problem. The gearbox sometimes, I mean, these are things I've just heard. Like it could be the gearbox creating some kind of vibration in the steering linkage or something. It could be a bad motor mount, but I don't think it's a bad motor mount because It's something on the wheel. It's something in the wheel that's making this damn truck vibrate. It making the steering wheel vibrate. I don't know what it is. I'm right there with you, man. I ain't spent no money yet. I've gotten this truck aligned. I've gotten alignments on this truck about 3-4 times already. Yeah, my truck does it when it does it real bad when it's empty. So I'm almost happy to have a load on me because it don't do it as bad. I have to find ways to hold the steering wheel where it don't hurt my wrist or whatever. You know, like I don't know what's going on. It's something up under this. It's something on the front end that's creating that vibration, and you got to figure out what it is. I'm thinking about booking a load out there to Oklahoma City somewhere. It's a front end shop that specializes in truck stuff. So oh, okay, yeah, let me know, man. I would, you know. But hey, that's not what the video is about. Vibrations on the truck. This video is about all these guys out here in trucking crying and carrying on, talking about the rates are low and stuff like that. I got a couple videos talking about how low the rates are. You know, the rates are low. They are low. But the thing is, man, this is trucking. You know, I done talked to a handful of guys, you know, and, you know, I talked to a handful of guys out here. Yeah, the rates are low, but it's not that bad. Because I've talked to some guys, like, they acting like the sky's falling. It's the end of trucking and all this and all that, man. Look, even though the rates are still low, I'm still doing better than I was when I was at Trucker Loco and Snyder. I don't care who you are. Because when I book a load for $1,000, I get the whole $1,000. When I book a load for $1,000, you know, the other, you know, Travel Loco or Snyder, nobody else ain't getting the money. I'm getting all the money. So, you know, it's funny because everybody's making these videos. Like, I'm watching YouTube and everybody's making these videos talking about, oh, I'm going to get out of trucking. I'm going to turn the truck in. And it's just a lot of stuff going on in trucking right now. You know, everybody's getting emotional as if, I mean, most of the guys that I'm watching, these guys are like veteran drivers, 5-10 years experience. This isn't the first time rates have dropped in trucking. You know, it's just like every year it does the same thing, man. Been meaning to ask you something about some loads that I've been doing. Yeah, so like I've been talking to guys, you know, chit-chatting on the phone, and you know how, like, you know, we truck drivers, we talk, you know, we be talking on the phone because as a truck driver, you know, you running down the road, you need somebody to talk to. So you just, you know, guys, we talk. We truck drivers, you know, we run our mouth. We run our mouth. So you know, I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm talking to guys. I'm talking to guys and customers, and everybody talking about the just the end of trucking, man. Like, trucking is, yeah, the rates are low, no doubt, but it's not that bad, man. You just, you know, a lot of guys out here have gotten a little spoiled back in July, not July, but back in June, July, when the rates were really, really good, you know, and now that the rates have went down, you know, I'm watching YouTube videos, a bunch of guys talking about, you know, it's the end of trucking. That's what it seems like anyway. So I found that it's interesting, you know what I mean? And I mean, yes, the rates are low, but at the same time, I think, you know, as a truck driver out here with your own truck and trailer, it's still plenty of opportunity to come out here and make some money. You know, are you gonna get them loads going 300, 400, 500 miles for $2,000? No, not all the time. You know, you just gotta stretch your legs a little bit, you know. Like I was telling, you know, one of my buddies, he was like, man, I'm not seeing no loads, man. I'm barely making it. Well, in my mind, I'm thinking like, well, the reason why you're not making no money or not making more money is because you're not stretching your legs a little bit. You got to stretch your legs a little bit. This is trucking, man. There's plenty of freight out here. You just got to be willing to run the freight. Like, I don't know if any of you guys used to watch Casanova 601. Casanova 601, he's one of the guys that motivated me to come out here and get my own truck and trailer. And he had this saying. He pretty much said that in order to make it in this business, you gotta do what you don't want to do in this business. And pretty much right now, you gotta practice that philosophy right now. You pretty much gotta do what you don't want to do in this business to make it right now. You know, right now you're not gonna do no 7, 8, 9K running 5 days, you know. I mean, you might can make that kind of money depending on what you're pulling or the type of freight, but you know, I pull a dry box. I mean, back when the race was doing good, man, I did 7 to 8K 3-4 weeks back to back to back. You know what I'm saying? And I got weekends at home. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy making that kind of money and getting a full weekend at home. So like now, it's tough to do that right now. Can you still make 7, 8K a week? Yeah, you just got to stay out a little bit, you know. So let me give you all an example. Last week I did about 6,500 last week. Now I'm not trying to brag because to me 6,500 is not the best week in the world. I would say for a guy who got their own truck and trailer out here, I would say 6,500 is about average. I would say 6,500 is about average out here. The average guy with their own truck and trailer with a dry van is doing 5 to 6K a week. I think that's about average. You know, unless you got a direct shipper or something like that, or you're doing something special. But if you're doing everyday regular trucking stuff with a dry van, you got a Freightliner and a dry van, you probably do about 5 to 6K a week. So don't miss because I know I'm gonna get a nerd on here that's gonna misinterpret what I'm trying to say. You know, anybody who knows me, I'm not that kind of dude. I'm trying to make a point in this video. I'm trying to inspire you. So it be guys that think I mean harm and I mean malice. That's not my agenda. I'm trying to inspire you and get you to think. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. So I use my experience to you know, make an example here. So last week I did about 6,500, and it's kind of funny. I wasn't really trying to make 6,500. I mean, really, I come out here, I try to make as much money as I can. So it just so happened I did 6,500. So that video that I did with y'all when I was in the shop, my truck was in the shop Monday and Tuesday. My truck was in the shop. I got my truck back that Tuesday afternoon. And I was just like, man, I'm looking at the board. I'm about to call on some loads. I'm like, man, I don't like these loads, man. Ain't nothing on the board. So I decided to take my truck for a PM. I decided to fix my my air compressor, AC compressor on the APU. Got that done. Got on the board. I ain't really seen nothing. Here it is, Thursday, Friday, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I ain't running this week. You know, I just start fresh Monday. So Saturday, Sunday, I was on the board. I found a load. I forgot which day, Saturday or Sunday. I looked at the board. I booked the load coming out of Atlanta, going up to Connecticut for 2,800. I booked that load, 2,800. They had about 2 or 3 of them up there. 2,800. Booked the load. Booked the load. I watched that load. Now that I'm thinking about it, I watched that load for at least 2 days. Yeah, that load, those loads was on the board for 2 days. I was like, damn, nobody don't want these loads. I was like, Procter & Gamble? Okay, let me book it. Because everything on the board, it wasn't paying nothing. I didn't see nothing on the board that I felt like it was worth me running. You know, like Lowe's paying $600, $700. You know, I didn't want to climb in my truck, go to a place, sit up there all day long for no $600, man. I feel like my truck is worth running. Like I say, my motto is I got to do 1,000 a day. That's just I don't care. I got to do 1,000 a day. I need 1,000 a day for my truck. So that's just what it is. However I got to get it, I got to do it. So that's my baseline, 1,000 a day. Anything that I'm doing and I'm looking at loads, 1,000 a day. You know, I preach that 1,000 a day. So I booked the load. Monday morning, I get up there. You know, I think it was like a 11 o'clock appointment or something like that. Got in there. They took all day to get me loaded. I think it took me about 3-4 hours to get loaded. Got the load, got on the road, ran the load up there. Okay? Took 2 days to get up there. Wednesday morning, delivered the load, no problem. I had a load booked in the same area. Picked that load up, brought it back down. That load paid $2,400. So $2,800 plus the $2,400. That load delivered on Friday. Picked the load up on Wednesday, ran Wednesday, Thursday, delivered the load on Friday. And on Friday, I picked up another load coming out of the same area, going back up through the house. That load paid $1,300. So Um, excuse me, y'all. I'm fidgety. Y'all gotta excuse me. I'm a little fidgety. That's, you know, bite my nails and stuff like that. Excuse me. So, see all this? I'm grabbing my face, just fidgety. Just, y'all gotta excuse me sometimes. So, I booked that load. The load was like 1,300, and I think I got like maybe an hour or two of detention or something like that. About 2 hours detention. So, if you do the math, the load that I had is that load that I just did. The last load, the last video I just did about late night trucking or on Sunday night trucking or something like that. That's the load that I had. So that load took me through the house. The load delivers on Monday in South Carolina. So I had to leave the house Sunday night to get to the customer so I could deliver it to pick up my next load in the morning, because I had a appointment. No, I didn't have an appointment. It had an open window, 8 to 5 to pick that load up. That load paid $900. But let's just talk about last week. If you tallied that up, it comes up to about $6,500 or something like that. So my point is, all this talk about is being slow and all this, the rates, and yeah, the rates a little low, but like I said, you got to be willing to work and come out here and run the freight. You know, it's just crazy because you're going to come in trucking. And I find this hilarious. Guys going to come in trucking, invest $100,000 in a trucking trailer. All this time in a trucking trailer to come out here to make pennies. Because that's how I see it. You're going to do all that to come out here to make pennies. Listen, I went and got my own trucking trailer so I can run the way that I want to run and make all the money. That's why I got a trucking trailer. I didn't get a trucking trailer to make to run $500 loads. I didn't do that. If I want to run $500 loads, I should stay at Snyder. Snyder's got the $500 loads. I want to make $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 a week. That's what I want to run. And it's the thing is, I find it like kind of funny, because it's just like, I'm a kind of guy, I use a calculator when I'm trying to make sense of stuff. I just whip out my calculator and be like, okay, this, that, calculate plus this, plus that, subtract that. Okay, that sounds like a good deal. Let me do that. I'm not running $400 and $500. I see loads on the board paying $400. I was like, man, I am not running no loads for no $400, $500. You won't catch me running no loads for no $400, $500. That don't even pay for fuel. There's no way I'm gonna climb in my truck to run a load for $400, $500. You crazy? I'm not doing it. Not doing it. So, you know, and it's crazy because it's just like, even with the deadhead, like, I deadhead a lot. I know I deadhead a lot. But before I deadhead to run that load, I'm going to whip out a calculator and say, okay, this plus this equals this. So if it don't equal a number where I feel comfortable with, I ain't going to run it, you know? Because it's just like, if you look at the board, all the loads on the board generally pay about the same amount of money. And let me give you an example. like for example, if you got a load, you can pull out your calculator. If you got a load that's running 500 miles, okay, the load runs 500 miles, the load pays 1,200. Me personally, I'd rather run the load 500 miles that pays 1,200 than to run a load for 200 miles that pays 600 and 700. That's not why I'm here. And let me tell you reason why all these loads pay about the same. I would see a load on the board paying. I would see a load on the board paying 1,600. The load goes 850 miles. The load goes 850 miles for 1,600. So the load is 1,600, 850 miles. That comes out to $1.88. But if you see a load on the board that pays 800 miles, if the load pays $800 to go 375 miles, that the rate on that load is $2.13. So generally, like with me, I like to max my clock out. I try to use the clock and revenue as to my advantage. So if I see a load that going 600 miles, I'm trying to find in that area, I'm trying to find a load to where I'm trying to maximize my revenue. And like, guys don't understand where revenue is the lifeblood of your truck. Revenue is the lifeblood of your business. You gotta have revenue. You need revenue. If you don't have revenue, you're wasting your time. So it's just like, I talk to guys sometimes, and it's just like, man, you be deadheading, man. You deadheading too much. You be deadheading. Like, dude, I know how to use a calculator. It don't matter if you deadhead. I deadhead all the damn time. I would deadhead 300 miles to pick up a load that goes 200 miles. It don't even matter, because the load pays 1,200 and there's nothing on. If there's nothing on that board that pays 1,200 but that load, you don't have a choice but to run. You don't have no choice but to deadhead to the load that pays 1,200. Why deadhead to a load paying? Why deadhead 20 miles to pick up a load that goes 600 miles when you can deadhead to a load, deadhead 300 miles to a load that goes 200 miles to make 1,200? You're making more profit. Like, guys be too scared to deadhead. Who gives a shit? So say the load that you got a deadhead to, say the load that you got a deadhead 300 miles pays 1,200. The load goes 200 miles. So that means you got 500 miles that's 500 miles that's committed to that load. You got to deadhead 300 miles to get to the load. Okay, it's 1,200. Okay, the load goes 500 miles. You got 300 miles to get to the load, 200 miles to run the load. Yeah, I know, but it's just, I get into these back and forth with guys. You know, I get into back and forth with guys. It don't matter if you deadhead. Deadhead is just, deadhead don't mean nothing. When you're an independent contractor, Deadhead doesn't mean nothing. It's nothing. Deadhead is a company leased on driver issue. When you leased on, deadhead matters. When you're independent contractor, deadhead don't matter. It doesn't matter because all the freight out here pays what it pays. The brokers know this. They know in an area, if there's so many trucks to so many loads, they know they can adjust the rate to balance out. All the loads across the board gonna pay the same thing. It's up to you whether you want to get the load or not. I'm trying to make a point here, and like I look at loads all day long, and I'm looking at them, I'm like, damn. Like, if I run this load here, if I run this load here, and I run this load here, they all add up to the same amount of money. But I'm getting off topic. So, okay, the load pays $1,200. I'm going to have 500 miles invested in the load. Go 500 miles. Okay. My truck gets my truck gets 8 miles to the gallon. But let's be conservative for the sake of this video. My truck gets 7.5 miles to the gallon. So I'm going to do 500 divide 7.5. To run that load, I'm going to burn 66 gallons of fuel. The fuel price what I've been getting lately is about $2.70 a gallon. So I'm going to do 66 gallons times $2.70 a gallon. So it's going to cost me $180 to run that $1,200 load. Plus, my daily rate is $300 because it costs me $300 just to sit here. Insurance, food, cell phone bill. If I didn't run no loads all week, it cost me $300 just to sit here. I'm burning my APU. I'm burning fuel. I got to eat. My bills at home. The load board, that costs money. Child support. All these fixed expenses that you have. So my bills my fixed expenses per day is $300 a day. Plus, my variable cost is the fuel, which is the $180, because I don't count the fixed, the variable cost, and you got fixed costs. So 180 plus my 300, that's $480. So I'm gonna do 1,200 minus 480. That's gonna give me $720 of profit if I run the $1,200 load. But depending on which school of thought you come from, you would run a $500 load, $600 load, $700 load just because you don't have the deadhead to it. That don't make sense to me. That don't make sense to me. Okay, let's do this. Say another load on the load board pays $800 to go 200 miles. And the load is closer to you. The load is like 15 miles away. So you got 215 miles. Okay, $800 divide 215. That's $3.72 a mile. $3.72 a mile. But the load that I just told y'all about, the $1,200 load that goes 500 miles, divide that by 500, that's $240 a mile. So depending on who you talk to, it's like, man, I'd rather take the $800 load because I'll be getting $3.72 a mile. Yeah, but you're only getting $800. But let's dig deeper into this $800 thing. Okay, you got $800. $800, right? The load goes 215 miles because it's 15 miles to deadhead to it, 200 miles to run the load, right? So, like I said, it costs my truck to run a 200 mile load. It will cost my truck, I'm going to do 200 divided by 7.5 miles to the gallon. My truck going to burn 26 gallons to run that load, times $2.70 for fuel. So it's going to cost me $72 to run that load. So it's going to cost $72 to run that $800 load. $72 plus my daily fixed cost, which is $300 a day. So it's going to cost me $372 to run that $800 load. So I'm going to do 800 minus 372. I'm only going to make $428 on that load. Profit. I'd rather take the $1,200 load going 500 miles. I'm getting a lower rate per mile, but I'm grossing more revenue. I'm doing $300 more in revenue. So depending on what school of thought you come from, it's like, well, I'm gonna go to this load here because it's less deadhead. It's 5 miles away, so I'm gonna do this load. That don't make sense, man. To me, that don't make sense. I would rather deadhead 400 miles to get to a better paying load to deadhead 2 miles around the corner to get a cheaper load. That don't make sense. Doesn't make sense. You need revenue. As a small business, revenue is the lifeblood of a business. Landscaping business, barber business. You can sit up there and talk about all this BS all day long, but if you don't have lump sums of revenue being deposited into your business, you're going to go out of business. So you're going to invest all this money in a truck and trailer. You're going to invest all this time and all this repair bills and all this. You got these big repair bills on this damn truck, but we running $500 loads. No. $1,200 a day. 11, 12, 1,300 a day. That should be your minimum. Okay? 1,000 a day. Y'all know what I say. 1,000 a day. So, like I was saying earlier, you know, talking about, you know, guys crying about the rates and all of that, and guys talking about, oh, I'm gonna give my truck back, man. Man, y'all a bunch of maybe y'all need to give y'all truck back. This is just the beginning, man. Y'all gotta weather these storms that's about to come, man. You got to learn how to weather this stuff, man. Like these different fluctuations in business. You know, it's busy. It's busy. You're making money. It's profitable, and then it slows down, and then it comes back up. That's just fluctuations of business. I'm only making $750 a day running 200 miles. Well, you need to do 400 a day to do 1,500. You need to do 400 miles to do 1,500 a day. Deadhead can take up half your day, though. I mean, I get you, Miko M, but at the same time, zero revenue. You up there worrying about how much time it can take up. Zero revenue equals no money in your business. So I'd rather make some revenue than to make no revenue. Because I'd rather keep the money that I have than to spend the money. You know what I'm saying? So even if I gotta move the truck just to keep the money that I got, that's how I see it. Even if I'm breaking even, I'll do that just to keep the money that I got. Because if you don't move, it's gonna cost you not to move. You see? Unless your truck and trailer paid for, you know, and you don't have no bills at all. I mean, you gotta eat. You know, you got, you know, you got insurance and stuff like that. So you gotta move the truck. You gotta book something. So this deadhead rule is subjective, you know, because a lot of people don't really talk about how to really apply deadhead, and they apply it. Guys, like a lot of guys apply deadhead to just to any, as if deadhead is like the killer to a truck or something. Like I deadhead all the time, man. Like, you know, I mean, I'll pull up my calculator and I'll look at it. Okay, with the deadhead, I'll end up making more money than any load on the board. Like, I'll be looking at 5 loads. 3 loads would be right close to me, and then 2 loads require me to deadhead. The 2 loads that require me to deadhead pay the most. Even with the deadhead, I still end up profiting more than running those 3 or 4 loads that's close to me. I don't know what else to tell you. You know, when it comes, you know, to deadhead, you know, so that's, you know, I just pull out a calculator. Whichever one's net the most profit, I go with that load, and that's what I do. And it makes no sense to, because I know a lot of guys, they're emotional about running their truck. You know, I know a lot of guys, they don't keep a spreadsheet on their truck. You know, they don't keep a spreadsheet on their truck. They don't keep bookkeeping. They just run loads and they just take a check at the end of the week. You got to have a plan. Every week you got to have a plan. I know every week when I get in the truck, I'll be like, okay, I look at the load boards. Okay, I'll be like, okay, this week I'm gonna shoot for 5,500 this week. This week I'm gonna shoot for 6,500 this week. This week, I'm you know, and there's a minimum that I like to achieve, and like I say, I try to do 1,000 a day. I mean, whatever that number is, you gotta figure it out. You know, I know, like for me, my number is 5,000 a week, 1,000 a day. That's my number. That's what I'll be thinking about when I'm in my truck and I'm looking at loads. I don't care what it is. I'm looking for 1,000 a day. I mean, because I'm looking at a lot of these loads, I just keep looking. No, 1,000 a day. No, I need 1,000. I just be looking. I call up a broker. He's like, man, the best I can do is 800. Bye. Well, I don't say bye, but I just be like, oh, okay, I appreciate it. I keep calling on brokers until I get that number that I want, you know? And you got to be persistent, and eventually you end up getting it, you know? But that's just how I am, because a lot of guys, they call on 1 or 2 loads. They take the first thing handed to them. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. What? $200 for the load? Okay, cool. No, man. Not running no load for $200. No. It ain't worth getting out the bed for 200. 1,000 a day. What? 1,000 a day. Yeah. So, to all the crybabies in trucking, look, man, you got a trucking trailer. Get out here and run the loads, you know. Get out here and run this freight, you know. Um, get out here and run this freight. I mean, a lot of the loads that I'm seeing, I mean, you got to run a little bit harder. Like last week, I ran like 2,800 miles last week. I haven't ran that hard in a long time. I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't ran that hard in a long time. But, you know, being that I got 10 years experience in this business, coming from Snyder and all of that, I know how to run, and I'm not scared. I'm not scared to run. You know, I mean, I'm trying to keep my pace on doing 200K gross this year. That's what I want to do. I need to make 200K gross. You got to have a goal. You got to be persistent on what you're looking for out this business, you know? So it's just like, you know, don't let the business defeat you. You got to defeat this business. You got to beat this business, you know? Don't let this business defeat you, you know? If you need 5K a week, don't go home until you get 5K deposited into your account. Until you do about $5,000 worth of loads, don't go home. Don't settle for nothing less than $5,000. So, and like with me, I'm trying to make sure I'm on par to do 200K this year gross. You know, I got to do 200K gross this year. That's how I feel about it. So, in order to do that, I can't let this business defeat me. I gotta beat the living crap out of this business. Make sure I do 200K this year. So, with that being said, it's just I'm trying to make a point with the freight market right now. Rates are low. Yes, I know freight is low, but you got to be persistent and demand the rate that you think you can get on your truck and stick to your guns. Don't let these brokers walk over you, you know, throw $500, $600, $700 loads at you and stuff. What do you do when you go to Florida? You there all the way back? Yep. Sometimes I do. Yeah. Because the thing is, when I go down to Florida, I make sure I damn sure make sure that the rate that I have going down to Florida justifies me for deadheading out. Sometimes I do deadhead out of Florida. Yeah, all the way out. There are times where I deadheaded I went from Atlanta down to Miami and deadheaded all the way back to Atlanta because it ain't nothing down there that I wanted to pull. I'm calling up brokers. They're like, $400, $450, $400, $500. I'm like, man, y'all can have that. I deadhead on out of there. Because you have to get the rate high enough to justify you deadheading out of there. It's just mathematics. And a lot of times when I go down to Florida, I don't go down to Florida for nothing less than maybe $2,000. If it's past Orlando, $2,000. If it ain't $2,000, if it's like Fort Pierce, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, no, I need $2,200, $2,300, $2,400 because I know I need $1,200 a day. So for me to go down there and come out, I need 2 days worth of revenue to go down there to come out. So I need about $2,300, $2,400 to go down there. Depending on the load, if it's an Uber Freight load or something like that, I know I could probably get some detention on it. So if they're paying $22, I'm probably get another $200 in detention. That'll give him a $24. That'll give him a $1,200 a day to go down there. I'm gonna go down there, come back out, book a load out of Jacksonville, book a load out of Jacksonville or book a load out of Albany or something like that. So you got to learn how to work the game. It's just a game out here. And these brokers know that. That's why they pay that kind of rate to go down there. So it's like, okay. And sometimes you can come out ahead. You just got to learn how to work the board. It's just like, okay, say you in Atlanta, you looking at loads. You in Atlanta, you looking at loads, you on the DAC board looking, you calling on loads. All the best paying loads are going down to Florida. They're paying 22, 23, 2400. All the other loads are paying $800, $900. Well, it would behoove you to go ahead and take that Florida load for 23, 2400 because you're not going to get a better rate than that. You might as well take that load, deadhead back out, because you're going to get 2 days of revenue up front. And then you're going to get good fuel mileage deadheading out. You might find something paying about $500 or $600 out of there. But the appointment's got to be right. If you can book a load the next day and it delivers the next morning, so that way you're in Atlanta. If you're in Atlanta empty in the morning, you got a better chance of getting loaded by like 10, 11 o'clock. So that way you can get your truck moving. So now, if you found a load for $1,000, now you did $3,000 in 3 days. You're looking at about $3,400 in 3 days. You did that load down to Florida for $2,200, $2,300. Okay, you deadhead back out. Now, if you find something for $500, that's just icing on the cake. So now you did 23 plus 500. That'll put you at 2,800 in 2 days. Then you can book something on the Wednesday for $1,000. That's gonna put you at 3,800. And on your fourth day, Thursday and Friday, you looking for something about $1,000 or $1,200. You're gonna be at 60. You're gonna be at 62, 6,300 by Friday. Friday, you going home. Saturday, maybe depending on where your hours are, you could be at the house on Saturday morning with $6,200 gross for the week. You might can get home Friday night. I do that all the time. Yes, I deadhead out of Florida. It doesn't matter. You got to get the rate to go down there. These rates that they paying right now to go down to Florida ain't paying enough. Like, I would go down to Orlando, maybe Tampa, for maybe 1,800. Maybe 1,800, 1,750. Yeah. It depends on what's on the board. Because if that's your best rate, I mean, if you look around, it's nothing paying you in 2 days that kind of revenue. So you might as well take it, you know. 18, 19, 20, 2,100. It's a decent rate to go down there. Then you come right back out. The appointment time's got to be right, though. You just can't book anything. It got to be an early AM appointment. And the delivering appointment got to be an AM appointment so you can get it loaded and get the hell out of there and get back up the road and get loaded. You gotta watch your time management, because it be loads out here that go 600 miles, but they take 3 days to deliver. You don't want that. You wasting time, man. You don't want that. You be wasting time. Hey man, that's how my boss, aka Dad, how to feel about trucking with family. Who are the best brokers? The ones that pay. They all suck. You think I'm doing bad, wasting time, doing them 7 foot through my house every day? I don't want to say you're doing bad. If you find a niche area where you can consistently get 750 all the time, and the deadhead is very short, and to run the load is 250, and if you can crunch that into a small window, you could do very well doing those loads. I would say, you know. But I mean, profit is thin, you know. Like if you're not burning a lot of fuel, and and the loads are like tight together, then you could make those work, but 750 ain't much profit to go around with a $700 load. I saw loads from the 8 going to Ocala, Jeffville, hung up on their ass. 1,200 to go to Jacksonville is decent. Ocala, I would need about maybe 1,500 to go to Ocala, 1,600 to go to Ocala. 1,200 is decent to go to Jacksonville. It's not the best rate, but it's decent. From Atlanta to Jacksonville, that's decent. It's but you don't know what the broker's getting on it. They could be getting 3,500 on that load. You have no idea what they're getting. So to say it's decent is subjective. Their head don't matter. Total miles are. That's what I said. This is what I've been saying the whole time. I done talked about this before. So we're going on an hour in this video. Yeah, but I'm just trying to make a point, that a lot of guys are getting emotional about running their truck. We need to stop being emotional about running our truck. Stop doing what feels good and run the truck like a business. Okay? Run the truck like a business. You need revenue. You're not a major corporation that can afford to take a bunch of losses. Okay? As a small business, you need revenue. You worry about the expenses later. It's because like guys with one truck, one trailer, they feel like they can afford. Guys feel like they can afford to take $750 loads, just like what's the name. But to me, it doesn't make sense because you're not making enough money to even take the $750 load. It just doesn't make sense to do that. Now, I can easily sit here and just say, "Oh, it don't make sense," but you got to put pencil and pad on a piece of paper so that you can understand why that doesn't make sense. Because to move your truck less, then on top of that, make less doesn't make sense. Now, if you're going to move your truck less to make more, that makes sense. But for me, I think it makes sense to move your truck for more money because revenue is the lifeblood of a truck or any business, especially a small business. When you're a small business, you need to don't worry about expenses. Don't worry about all this other deadhead and all this other garbage because you need revenue. You need revenue. I would rather have $7,000 gross revenue than to have $3,500 in gross revenue. I can buy a lot of fuel with $7,000. I can buy a lot of insurance. I can buy a lot of food. I can buy a lot of truck note with $7,000. So let me give you an example. I did 6,500 last week. My fuel bill was $1,200. My fuel bill is usually like anywhere from $700 to $800 usually. But now, since it's you know, it's slow, I have to run a little bit harder. So now my fuel bill is $1,200. But I made more money on top of that. So $6,500 minus $1,200 for fuel, $700 truck payment, $165 trailer payment. I mean, you know, the trailer payment, if you break it up into weekly payments, is $165. $260 for insurance. I'm trying to think of something else that I pay weekly. So if I do $6,500 minus those expenses, I'm still grossing $4,000. I'm taking home $4,000. I don't know, man. I don't know. So just say if you do $750 a day times 6, that's $4,500. Okay, just say you do 300 miles a day times 6 and do 1,800 miles to make the 4,500. You do 1,800 miles to make the 4,500. 1,800 divide 7.5 miles to the gallon. You burn 240 gallons. 240 gallons times $2.70 a gallon. Average, what the fuel price I've been getting is anywhere from $2.70 to $2.75, somewhere in there. So I'm gonna do 270 gallons times 240. So you spent $648 for the week in fuel. Plus, hold on, I'm trying to find the expense. Oh yeah, it's 4,500 minus 648 minus what? The truck payment minus insurance minus trailer payment. You only taking home $2,700. I mean, which is still pretty good. If you do 4,500 minus, you know, it's still pretty good. You know, I mean, there are probably some other miscellaneous deductions in here. Maybe you take home 2,500, 2,600 after expenses. But there's a big difference between $2,700 and $4,000. So you do 4,000 minus 2,700. It's a difference about 1,400, you know? So, yeah, I would rather run my truck a little bit more just to make an extra 1,200 or 1,300. Yeah. I mean, so much for Deadhead. I made an extra 1,300 since I deadheaded so much. All that deadhead paid for itself. Now, if I was to came into the same amount of revenue, if I would have made 4,500, burning $1,200 worth of fuel, then that's a conversation to talk. That's a conversation, but that ain't the conversation. And like I talk to guys, and they act like deadhead, you gonna go out of business deadheading or something. You know, oh that deadhead, oh my God, the deadhead, you gonna go out of business. Well, just like the calculator shows right here, I'm seeing $1,300 more in revenue here. I'm taking home $1,300 more. $1,300 more by deadhead. I don't know. You know, so what, you got a deadhead? It's business. And like, guys don't understand, like, all this freight out here, it pays the same amount of money. You know? So that's what it is. You know, like, look at a board in an area and look at loads. Look at a $2,000 load and look at a $800 load. If you look at all the miles that's vested in that load, all the miles invested in both of those loads, that $2,000 load, you're gonna make the same money. You just doing it in different times. You know, I don't know if y'all understand what I'm saying, but that's the conclusion I come up with. But this video going on an hour. But I just wanted to hang out with y'all and voice my opinion on talking mess about this business. He said he's fine with that. I'm home every day. But yeah, I hear you. You home every day, but the thing is, I'm not here to be home every day. I got goals, and I'm trying to meet my goals. Like I was saying before, I'm trying to do 200K this year. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do 100K. I'm trying to save up, put down on a rental property. I'm trying to pay off some bills. It's just a lot of things I'm trying to do. So in order to stay on track with my goals, there are things I'm trying to do. You know, I'm just not getting a truck and trailer just to get a truck and trailer to be home every day. If I want to be home every day, I'll go get a local job as a company driver, you know, and be home on the weekends. I'm done that. I've been there and done that. I'm done with that. My goal and my objective of getting a truck and trailer is not to be home more. That's defeating the whole purpose. If I wanted to be home more, I give all this stuff back and go get a company job and just get my $1,000, $1,200 a week and sit the hell down, because that's all that equates to. Because if you're making $2,500 a week, $2,600 a week, once you don't pay taxes and you adjust for maintenance and all this stuff for the truck, you're making less than a damn company driver. If you make $2,500 a week, $1,500 of it is gonna go to the truck. I mean, that's just real talk. $1,500 of it is gonna go to the truck. I mean, a lot of guys don't see that, but because they don't keep a spreadsheet on their truck. You gotta keep a spreadsheet on your truck to see where all this money going. You know, get a spreadsheet, get your truck on the spreadsheet. Then you start seeing, okay, damn, I spent $10,000 last year on maintenance. That's a lot of money. So if you divide that up in a year, you can just say, oh, okay, $1,000 a month goes to maintenance. $1,000 a month, that's a lot of money. You know, I spent this much money on this. And so once you start, it's like I'm here to make as much money as I can while I can. I'm not trying to waste no more time. I'm just wasting time. With, you know, when you got a truck and trailer, when this truck makes so much money on a week-to-week basis, I'm trying to make as much money as I can. Fuck going home. Y'all excuse my French. I don't want to go home. I'm miserable when I go home. Because I go home, all I'm going to be thinking about, damn, how much money I could have been making. Shit. Damn. You know, that's what I'm thinking about. And that's where I'm at right now. So that's See, that's why when you got to put things in context and put things in put things in context so you understand. Because, like you say, everybody's got a different perspective and a different opinion on what they want to do. Some guys want to be home every day and making 500, 600, 700 a day is cool. But for me, I got goals. I need 12, 13, 1400 a day. But hey, I'm gonna get off here. You trying to pray the truck off? Yeah, you know, you got to get out here and truck. You got to get out here and truck. You know, but hey, appreciate y'all hanging out with me, man. I just wanted to lollygag, and I know I'm gonna get on some guys' nerves, but hey, man, we just on here, we just voicing our opinion, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching my videos, man. I'll see y'all next time.